Hey, I'm Jessie. Welcome to Jessie's Bookish Babbles. Today I'm going to be doing a part 1 of a 2-part book haul. I bought about 60 plus books in January and February, and so I have a lot of books to talk about. To begin with, I'm going to be doing the used books that I picked up. I predominantly get my books from places like Goodwill, secondhand stores, library book sales, garage sales, and also I sometimes will do an order from thrift books. I've got quite a few books to talk about today, so I just want to kind of get right into it. We're going to start with some contemporaries. So I picked up Point by Brandy Colbert. I've been wanting to read this book ever since it came out in 2014, I think. Yes, 2014. I heard so many great things about it. It's been on my radar, but I just never got around to buying it, and the library never seemed to have it. But I recently read Little and Lion by Brandy Colbert, and it was so good, and it just really re-sparked my interest in this book, so I picked it up from thrift books, and I'm really pleased that I'm going to be able to read it finally. I also have P.S. I Like You by Casey West. I have not read anything by Casey West, even though her books have been recommended to me time and time again. And I found this one on sale, so I just thought I would pick it up and give it a go and see if I'm really going to like the author or not. Contemporaries are usually touch and go for me. They normally have to have something driving them beyond just a general love story. So I really don't know if I'm going to like it, but I'm willing to give it a shot. I also picked up the second Summer of the Sisterhood, the second book in the Traveling Pants series. I already have book 1, so I'm just kind of trying to complete my collection of the series. And then I also found The Last Summer of You and Me, also by Anne Brashares, the author of the Traveling Pants series. I found Size 12 is Not Fat and Size 14 is Not Fat Either, both by Meg Cabot. I have read almost all of Meg Cabot's books, but these two I have not read, so I'm really excited to be able to do that, and she's one of my favorite authors. I was obsessed with The Princess Diaries when I was in middle school, like most girls my age. And I have read a couple of her adult books, so I'm just really interested in these. I found some really cute editions of the Confessions of a Shopaholic series at a Goodwill store. I found Confessions of a Shopaholic, Shopaholic Takes Manhattan, and Shopaholic Ties the Knot. These are like really adorable. They have like really pretty end covers for a paperback, and I got the first 3 in the series, so that was really exciting to me. They are in really good condition, and I can't believe I got these at Goodwill for just 88 cents a piece. So that was awesome. I also picked up The Blind Side by Michael Lewis. I've not read this book before. I don't really know a lot about the book itself, but I loved the movie. It was a story I was semi-familiar with, being as I'm from the South and my family is obsessed with college football. I myself didn't have a lot of investment in it, but I loved the movie, and I just found the book and decided to pick it up, so. Then I have The Time Traveler's Wife by Audrey Neffenegger. This is another one that I've not read the book of, but I have seen the movie, and I enjoyed the movie, so I'm really expecting to enjoy the book. I've heard that they're kind of different, and I've only heard good things about this book, so it'd be really interesting to read and kind of see how the book handles the time travel-y aspects. So that's exciting. Then I have Marley and Me, yet another movie that I really enjoyed despite the ending. The ending was awful and I cried like a small child in the movie theater, and it was bad. I had to just sit in my car afterwards for like 30 minutes because I was crying so hard. But it's got like the cute little Marley on the cover, and I love dogs so much, and I just decided to go ahead and pick it up. I'm starting to build a collection of books that feature dogs, and so this is going to go with that collection. And lastly for my contemporaries, I have The Secret Life of Bees by Sue Monk Kidd. I read this book when I was in high school, but I don't remember very much about it beyond the fact that I liked it. So yeah, I was kind of looking forward to maybe rereading this and exploring it as an adult. So that should be exciting. Moving on, I have a huge pile of young adult fantasies, specifically some middle grade fantasies. I am currently building up a collection of the Rick Riordan books, so to that end I picked up The Red Pyramid and also The Serpent's Shadow. These are books 1 and 3 of the Kane Chronicles. I already own the second book, which is Throne of Fire, so now I have the complete trilogy. I also picked up The Sea of Monsters. I already owned a copy of this, but it was the major motion picture cover, and I wanted to get a cover that was just the regular paperback to go with the rest of my series. So I also picked up The Lost Hero, The Mark of Athena, The House of Hades, and The Blood of Olympus, which sadly does not have a dust jacket. All of these came from thrift books, and I already owned The Son of Neptune, so that also completes the Heroes of Olympus series for me. So I officially have all of the Rick Riordan books except for I think the Magnus Chase books, because I do have the Hidden Oracle and the Dark Prophecy already. So that means I'm very close to completing my collection, which I'm excited about. I am reading 2 Rick Riordan books a month this year, because I read them a long time ago, and with the new books coming out, I've decided that I want to reread them because I missed like 8 to 10 books in the middle there. So I also picked up The Opal Deception and The Eternity Code, both in the Artemis Fowl series. There are several books from book series from my childhood, including Artemis Fowl and the Series of Unfortunate Events, The Princess Diaries, and the Tortall series by Tamora Pierce, that I am slowly gathering all the books. Once again, I used to own them, but they were lost in various moves throughout the years. So I'm trying to just rebuild the collection of books that I really enjoyed when I was a child. This next book is really special to me, and I'm really glad I found myself a copy. It is Am I Blue, which is an anthology about LGBT youth. This came out in 1994. So it is a rather older book, and This was the first book that I ever read that had queer characters. I found it when I was in middle school. It was in my school library, tucked away in this little corner, kind of covered in dust. And this book changed my life. I was a very, very confused child. I felt very alone and scared, and I had no idea. I thought there was something wrong with me, and this book gave me a lot of hope. And it gave me some answers to some questions I didn't even know how to ask about. So I remember this being an exceedingly wonderful anthology. It has authors like Lois Lowry, Francesca Leah Block, Jane Yolen. It's just, I remember it being fantastic, and I'm really looking forward to reading it again as an adult and as somebody that has now read a lot of queer literature, and as a queer adult to look back at something that was such a profound experience to read for the first time. So if you have not read this book, I would suggest checking it out. So yeah. So that kind of completes the young adult book, or the kids books, the children's books and middle grade books. I do have Proxy by Alex London. This is another queer book. I found this on a buy-sell trade group on Facebook, and I'm so excited to finally have a copy of this. It's been on my TBR for quite a while, and so that's really exciting to have been able to find. And I found Afterworlds by Scott Westerfeld. I have actually not read anything by Scott Westerfeld. I did not read his Uglies trilogy, and I always meant to read Leviathan, but I never got around to it. So I saw this at Goodwill, and I picked it up on a whim and looked it up, and it sounds really interesting and intriguing, so hopefully get to this at some point soon. And then I have Magic Study and Fire Study, both by Maria V. Snyder. I already owned Poison Study. These are just the next two in the series. These books have been recommended to me time and time again. I've owned Poison Study for like a year and a half, probably almost 2 years now, and I still haven't read it. But now that I have the next two in the trilogy, I'm really going to prioritize it a little bit more. Then I found Stardust by Neil Gaiman. I have watched this movie, but it's one of the few Neil Gaiman books that I have not read. I absolutely adore him as an author, so I'm expecting to really, really like it. The movie is fantastic, so I don't expect any kind of disappointment from this book. And I picked up Neverwhere, also by Neil Gaiman. This was a thrift books purchase, and it was not supposed to be the mass market paperback. I was looking for a regular, the regular paperback in the preferred reading text by Neil Gaiman. But I still like this book, so I'm not completely upset. Next I have Kushiel's Dart and Kushiel's Avatar. These are books 1 and 2 in the series. I think it's a trilogy by Jacqueline Carey. They are I guess set in Egypt. They sound really, really interesting, and I just kind of picked them up on a whim when I saw them at Goodwill. And then I looked them up when I got home, and they sound really, really awesome. So I'm really excited to have these. Gosh. Sorry, there were so many books piled around me, I can't even reach them all. So finally, my final group of books. So my final group of books here are Sabriel by Garth Nix, Lyriel, Abhorsen, and Clariel. These are another series that I got from my buy sell trade group on Facebook. They're in really, really good condition. I previously have only had Sabriel on a ebook format, and I've not read anything else in the series, but I really liked Sabriel, and I have heard that the series just continues to improve, so this was a really awesome find as far as I was concerned. And that's all I have for this video. My next book haul, which I will probably be filming in a few minutes to be honest, is going to be all of the new books that I purchased in January and February. There are quite a few of them. Most of the books on the shelf were new buys. So that would be the next video, and I also have an Owl Crate unboxing to do. So yeah, we're gonna get this channel going all nice and properly. In the meantime, if you want to go visit my WordPress blog where I do book reviews and various other things, I'll leave a link down below. It is called Jessamine Books. I also am on Twitter and Tumblr. Those links will also be down below. Please like this video, hit the subscribe button, go follow me on Twitter or Tumblr. I made this channel in order to find more people to talk to about books, and so that's really what I'm looking for. I'm just gonna like scream out into the void and hope somebody answers.